And if we don't allow everybody to be free, then we should just go back to how it was 60 years ago and just enslave who we want. Because that's just what we're doing. We're not allowing somebody to be who they're supposed to be. And that's just how it was, years ago.
And here's another point. I mean, from where I was raised, everyone was raised in a church, and we always went. And then when we got old enough, you would find these people who decided they were actually raised as good, hardcore, strict Bible goers, and then next thing you know, those girls would turn out to be the more free-spirited ones that would go around with multiple guys and all that, the ones that would get into more trouble rather than stay true to what they were taught. Like you were saying, some people do, and I'm not saying it's everyone. I'm saying like it's not just like everyone in the church is gonna stay true to the Bible, because once we get older and we can start thinking more for ourselves. But I don't think
it's just people who are per se in the church. I think it's other people too. There could be someone walking down and they can honestly say, in my honest opinion, I don't think being gay is right. I mean, I do have gay friends, like, don't get me wrong, but do I feel like it's right to sleep with another woman? No. Do I feel like it's right that a guy should sleep with another guy? No. That's my personal opinion.
But if you interpret everything in the Bible that way, the Bible says you can't shave. So should I not be able to shave? The Bible is something to everybody. It's your own book. Everybody can't read it the same way. When you read it, you really have to open yourself to what it's saying and what it says to you.
I honestly don't think that a guy would want me to walk around looking like Chewbacca.
Well,
honestly,
it's in the Bible.
If I want to shave, I think that's my personal opinion. And am I saying that about being gay? Honestly, no.
It's their personal opinion, and if something happens to them, which I don't think it will, after their life is over, then that's their thing. It's not on us to decide what they do. It's not on us to decide whether or not they go to heaven, or whether it's their decision, it's their life.
Well, let's also remember, how many languages has the Bible been passed down through? How many words or phrases could have gotten mixed up in those translations from language to language? I'm not saying that when it says man should not sleep with mankind as he does with womankind in the Bible, I'm not saying like that's messed up, but what if it is? I mean, there could be something mixed up. Now, I think honestly we should let people be happy right now. And going back to the religion thing, I mean, once Judgment Day does come for every single one of us, if we get up there to the pearly gates, and then we're like the ones who openly express their homosexuality, and then if they're told to go to hell, and then that's their punishment. We should just let everyone be happy with who they are right now. And I mean, I know you said like you've got your friends that are out in the open about their lives, and I mean, we should just let them be happy, and it's everyone's personal choice. And again, that's really great for Jason Collins to come out and being so brave and just taking his hand and raising it high and saying, hey, look, I'm going to live my life how I want to. I'm not going to be afraid of anything.
I mean, it was like jumping off a cliff. But when he went down, everybody was there to catch him.
But you have to understand too, like just like he is a celebrity, there's going to be people who do agree with him, and then there are going to be people who don't. There's going to be people who say, "Oh, good job! I'm happy that you came out of the closet," and then there are going to be people who don't. There's always going to be haters. So we cannot expect for everyone to sit up there and be like, "Oh, good job! I'm so happy for you." There's going to be people who are going to be like, "I'm mad at you."
But he wasn't.
That's wrong for you.
He wasn't
There's going to be people who are going to be angry at you.
He wasn't expecting to be, hated or something. He just wanted to vilify himself and be real with who he was, so he could get back to playing basketball.
And
this has been eating him up for a while, I'm sure.
Yeah. And it's not. And he wasn't even doing it for.
publicity.
He wasn't doing it for publicity. He was doing it for his own. He was doing it for himself, so he can get back out on the court and just start competing to the highest level like he used to. And that, because once you, as an athlete, I'll tell you firsthand, once you've got one thing on your mind and it keeps weighing on you, your play is going to be affected. You're going to be second guessing yourself the entire season, everything you do, and then your play is just going to plummet.
Especially in basketball too, because that's a rhythm sport, and if anything gets you off of what you're focused on, you're done, because your shot's gone, and then that affects your game, so that affects your dribbling and things like that.
Again, this is really amazing. I mean, first active athlete in a major sport to come out and announce that he's gay. And I mean, you continue on to that, there's a lot of people in colleges that are still unsure or scared to come out and express themselves, just like Jason Collins has. And I mean, we've also got school and everything, classes, and I wonder if maybe high school didn't prepare them for that, whether it's in the classroom or in the social area. And now we're just trying to wonder, how do y'all think high school prepared y'all in both those areas?
For university-wise, well, it depends on what size high school you went to. It really depends. Like, if you went to a 5A, I'm sure you're ready right off the bat for university life. I went to a 1A school, and it was TVCC or nothing for us. I had to get my own stuff together to go to university, and when I got to the university, I was kind of prepared, but there were things that I think I could have improved, which I think I have done here, that have made me more successful going on the way to university. So study habits, socialization, things like that. What do you think about it?
Well, being from a 5A school, which is right by a military base in the middle of Central Texas, the military base causes for a lot of diversity to come into the area. So my high school was, of course, obviously very diverse. So it exposed me to lots of different people who I could expect to meet in college. And plus, the schedules that we had throughout high school also were very similar to the universities and to colleges, and our classes weren't easy at all. So I feel like my high school really prepared me for it. The work aspect of it, anyways.
And I think my high school prepared me pretty well for a 4-year university, and then I came here after a couple things happened, and just ended up breezing through classes really easy first semester, and still doing it today. And I mean, everyone's talking about studying right now because it's finals time, and I'm just sitting up in my room watching basketball, watching the NBA playoffs, not having to study, because everything's just been coming to me so easy with what my high school did for me. It's just amazing what a good high school can do for you in terms of getting ready for college.
I went to a 5A school all the way up until my junior year, and then I moved down to a 3A school because we moved. But I honestly think that it's up to the student, honestly. Mm-hmm. If that student likes to joke around, or if they just not like to pay attention, then they're not going to do anything.
I'm the first one to joke around. Y'all know me. But, I mean, there's a time to get serious, and you know when that time comes, which tests you're going to have to study for, and which tests, you can kind of get by on, and, you have to do your homework. You have to keep up with, you have to take care of your business in university. That's first and foremost on your list, is you don't have time for fun time until you take care of your business.
What's studying? Anyway, we'll be back in a little bit, and we'll continue talking right after this. Hello, welcome back to Cardinal Real Talk, TVCC student-produced talk show about topics that pertain mainly to college students and incoming or outgoing high school seniors. In our last segment, we were talking about universities and if students were ready, and we talked about going from high school straight to a 4-year university. And us four, we're at a junior college right now. And how do y'all think this school has helped prepare you for a 4-year university?
Personally, I think it helped us earn another grade from high school. I don't know about y'all, but my last semester, or I guess you can say this whole full year, I felt like it was like 13th grade, because instead of people acting like as if they're in college, some of them still act like they're in high school.
Cliques.
And I wouldn't think that even in college, people who are 18 and over would act a certain way like that. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I still do get the college life, but I still feel like I'm in the 13th grade instead of progressing and actually getting out of high school. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just me.
Like, well, you gotta think, like, it's their first and second year out of college, out of high school, I'm sorry. So, like, some of them are still pretty immature. It depends on the person, really.
Mhm.
Like, it takes people a little bit to mature. Some people faster than others. Some people's life experiences have made them mature faster than others. So, yeah, it's okay. Like, in university, I know people are a lot more mature, because, like I said, you have to take care of your business. You have to take care of your housing. You have to take care of your laundry. You know, you have to take care of your grades.
But isn't that the same way here? Don't you still have to take care of your laundry? Don't you still have to take care of your grades? Don't you still have to take care of that? And there are students, there are still students who do come out of high school and do go to university and they act a certain way. So why is that different from the people who go to a junior college?
Well, I don't live in I don't live in the student housing over here, so I don't know like how they do things. But like where I was, like you had regular checkups to make sure your room, you know, was clean, or else you would be bad. You get bad demerits, and then you potentially get kicked out of your housing. You know, just stuff like that makes sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do and taking care of what you have to stay in college and complete your education.
And also, I mean, with this place, I mean, you also don't have teachers babying you like you do here at a 4-year university. I mean, so many teachers in high school told me once you get to college, there's no late work whatsoever, no excuses. And I've seen multiple teachers on multiple occasions give students extra days to turn in papers that were due 2 weeks ago.
But I think that depends on the teacher, because my professors, some of my professors don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like my English professor, she's like, oh, it's due on this day and you can't turn it in after that. I mean, I think it depends on the professor. If your professor is like, okay, yeah, you can, then that's that one professor. But like I said before, it depends on the
But
professor.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, it seems to happen here. I mean, once we get to a 4-year university with classes of close to 100 people, I doubt a professor will be willing.
Well, like, the thing that I like about the school, though, is that it does kind of baby you a little bit, just like, if you mess up on something, like you fall down, or not literally, but, you know, just metaphorically, if you fall down.
People do fall down out here.
Well, yes, they do. Your teacher will, like, help you get back up. They'll dust you off and just be like, okay, don't do that again. Now go do it right this time.
I mean,
You know, and that's what I really like about this place. It's you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna learn from them because your teachers are there to help guide you. And I really like that about this place.
I mean, how many times have you asked your friends, is this teacher easy? I'm about to take this class. Is this teacher easy? Should I take another class? Who's easy? You know, it's not, everybody always like wants to take the class that you have to do the least in. Nobody here is different. Everybody wants to take the class where you have to do the least amount of work to get the best grade. You know, but I mean, like Nikki said, you know, it's like learning how to walk when you're a little baby. You know, you don't want to just be like, well, get up, go walk. You know,
run.
Yeah, go. You know,
Go
they're
run, fall flat.
lifting you up to get you ready for university. It's not like they're just going to be throw you in the pool and learn how to swim.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure that's what happened with. I have a lot of friends who went straight from high school to A&M, and I would see on Facebook, and I'd get texts, and they'd be crying
Yeah.
because they're
It happened.
basically.
It happened to
going
me. The
through
struggle
the fire.
is real. You know, it's.
You were only at UT Tyler.
Yeah, I know. Like, coming out of a 1A school, I'm not a 5A like y'all, you know.
Hey, I'm 4A.
So,
That's cool.
so I had maybe 40 people in my graduating class. So going from that to being around, you know, maybe 300 people at a time, you know, it's like whoa, you know. But the hardest thing about that was financial aid. You know, I didn't really keep up with it, so I got a little behind, and that's where I slipped up. You know, my grades were fine, and you know all this kind of stuff, but like I said, you don't keep up with your stuff, and you're gonna fall behind, and you're gonna be, you know, coming back. So this has prepared me, you know, to go on and actually complete it this time. You know, I think.
I mean, college is a place where people start figuring out what they want to do with themselves, and sometimes people will go out, make some bad choices, and end up with tattoos and piercings that once they realize it, they didn't really want. I mean, and that'll kind of get them in trouble at jobs sometimes. I mean, you'll have employers discriminate, oh, this guy's got a tattoo right here or of this, and he's not going to be able to get the job done. Well, how does that make you feel? I mean, I know y'all too. I know you have a tattoo. Nikki has a tattoo. Shai has a tattoo. I'm the only one without a tattoo in this group. That's kind of sad.
Join the group. Promote the dark side.
So how does that make y'all feel? I mean, if an employer would discriminate against y'all, I mean, regardless of if the tattoo has meaning or not.
I think it goes with one bad apple spoils the whole tree. I honestly think that some of them think, oh, if that person has a tattoo of this, it doesn't go in regards of something good. Like if someone has a tattoo of...
I'm going to want to leave.
Yeah, they can automatically think, oh, they smoke a blunt every day, or they're going to go and smoke a blunt in the back when they're supposed to be doing the work right here. I don't think it's going to go in regards of anything good. Not saying that all tattoos are bad, because I do have a tattoo it has faith on it, but...
I think it depends on your employer. You know, if you're working for a big business company, you know, I have my tattoo where it's covered up. You can't see it right now, you know. And that's what I think you should do if you're working for a big business company. But if you know that you're going to, you know, work in a tattoo shop, people want to see if you can actually, you know your stuff about tattoos. So you want to have a lot of tattoos, you know. And personally, I got mine when I was 18. You know, it's something to do, you know, 18.
18, yeah.
Let's go get a
let's
tattoo.
go get one.
Yeah, and I regret it now because I just don't like it. But, you know.
Just imagine how you're going to feel when you're
30,
80.
80, yeah. It's going to be.
I think personally, because I was always taught or told this, if you're going to get a tattoo, you need to get a tattoo that you're going to be proud of after, like later in the long run. You don't need to get a tattoo that if your kids look at you and say, Mom, why do you have boobs on your chest? No, you don't need to sit up there and do
That's
that.
kind of redundant.
I don't.
Yeah.
That's get something that you're going to be proud of, that you're not going to be ashamed of to show anyone. If I have a tattoo of Jesus' fist that says faith, I'm not going to be embarrassed about that in the long run because I know what it means. And I was.
Yeah, but I mean, we're all kids, you know, once or twice, so. You know, I just went out there and got it because I had people around me that were just like, oh, you should totally get this. And I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
It's just kind of a rite of passage.
Yeah,
is.
Exactly. Like for my family, it's a rite of passage. Whenever you turn 18, you're supposed to go and get a tattoo. So of course, my dad went with me and we got a tattoo, and he got one to match mine. So we both have a son on us. And I don't know, one of the other things is that being a dancer. Sometimes whenever like you go on to go to the pros or go to university, you have to wear half tops, right? So there's a whole lot of you that's shown, so you have to be able to cover it up. So that's one of the things that I think, like how Alan has his tattoo that's covered up on his shoulder, like you can't see it. So I think that if you do get a tattoo and you're going to workplace, you should be able to cover it up.
Yeah.
It really just depends on your job and like the image that they want.
I mean, it's not right that people will, you know, say you can't have this job because you have a tattoo. That's not right, but that's what happens. It just happens, you know. It happens that way. So you should counteract that with being mature when you first get your tattoo, and don't get something like I got. But anyways, just go, and that's what I knew when I first got mine. I knew I wanted to get a place where I could cover it up, because I want to have a great job, a great paying job, and I knew I'm gonna have to work in an office setting, so I don't want my tattoos to be a distraction. So I got it where I could cover it up.
So in other words, y'all are saying no drunken tattoos.
Yes.
I wasn't
That's
drunk,
always a bad
but
idea.
I probably should have been.
Well, I mean, again, we talked about marijuana leaves, and I mean, this is going to turn into drug use. I mean, you see some drug users with sleeves up and down their arms, on their neck, just covering it up. And I mean, designer drugs have become pretty heavy here in the past few months. I mean, you got rappers talking about mollies, you got codeine, etc. I mean, meth, just you name it, you can find it. I mean, how do y'all feel about the way these rappers are broadcasting all these drugs to the impressionable youth of our nation?
Well, this one's been really itching at me, because I know people, close to me that want shirts that say, Molly and stuff like that, and I'm like, no, you should not get that, because you don't know what it means. And, Mary Jane, they think it's a person, but, this is younger kids that are related to me, but you don't know what it means. So, I understand the value of good songwriting, but that's not good songwriting.
It's really not, because it's just
just
repeating.
It's just
It's
throwing
so
things
annoying,
at you. It's just throwing things at you, and it's just repeating itself over and over again.
We need to just go back to old school rap.
Oh yeah, but it's just, why would you advertise something? And you're a person in a place of power. You don't. They might not think they are. They might be younger people, but you're a person in a place of power. And wouldn't you want to uplift the people that you have influence on? That's just my thoughts on it.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, some of these rappers, they don't really care. They're just in it for their money, so that they can then write 20 more songs about, oh, hey, look, I've got a lot of money.
Yeah, I listen to rap music, and people say, "Why? How can you listen to rap music? It's so
Yeah, how can
terrible."
you?
That's generalizing.
terrible.
That's generalizing music. I listen to rap music that talks about that. It says something. It says, like, it really lifts you up.
Your heart just slowed down 5 times slower than the regular heart rate. So, in other words, if you take one, you're pretty close to dying already. So, in other words, drugs are bad. So, America, don't do drugs, and we'll continue this right after this.
TVCC's very own science club hosted its very first experiment, and it was literally a bang. Yep, that's right. There's a science club at TVCC. The club will be taking over the grassy area on the east side of the Gibbs building between noon and 12:30 every Wednesday. The public is welcome to watch the Wednesday experiments, but be warned, you must keep your distance. Students who are interested in joining the science club can contact either Jan Jennings at janjennings@tvcc.edu or Michael Felty at mfelty@tvcc.edu. Happy blasting!
Hello, and welcome back to Cardinal Real Talk, TVCC's student-produced talk show about multiple topics pertaining to outgoing high school seniors and college students of every age. And over the break, we got a response by Lisa Pellegra. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. And she says that she thinks it depends about if tattoos are unprofessional, and that she worked for a company as an icebreaker at a conference. And she was asked if every worker had a tattoo and where it was and the meaning. And or if they were to get one, where it would be and what it would be of. And she told us about where she has hers and how it's significant to her and it's in honor of her mom. Lisa, thank you so much for giving us that comment. And last we talked about designer drugs right after we were talking about the tattoos. And I mean, how do y'all think we can eliminate this?
I honestly don't think there's, sad to say, I honestly don't think there's any way of preventing it, because either way it goes, someone's going to get their hands on some kind of drug. Like, someone's going to get marijuana, someone's going to get cocaine. Like, I went to South Padre for my spring break, and I went to the bathroom, and these girls were, like, sniffing up coke. I mean, there's no way of stopping it. One of my friends, she went to the club, she popped a Molly, and she was, like,
Sweating.
she was off the walls. I mean, like, and she blacked out. She didn't have a way of, she didn't even know how she got home, didn't even know how she got in the bed. Honestly, how do you know who took you home? How do you know if you can trust that person? You don't know nowadays. You just don't. The sweetest, nicest person could have drugs on them. They could pass it to you. You never know who you're dealing with, honestly.
It just makes me think of the movie Ted when they're partying with Flash Gordon. I mean, these drugs are also very detrimental to one's health and nutrition. I mean, we've been taught that we need to eat all our vegetables and all that good stuff since we were at a young age. Oh, if you don't eat your vegetables, you don't get ice cream. Well, I mean, now that we're older and we can kind of figure this stuff out on our own, what do y'all think we need to do? I know Nikki has a very good point on this.
Well, the thing is, though, is that the government is pushing for us to eat healthier so we can be healthier. But the fact is, though, is that the other day I went to the grocery store and spent almost $40 on, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 items of, like, food, like fruits and vegetables. And so what I don't understand is why it's so expensive if the government wants us to be healthier. So why did they make the unhealthy foods more inexpensive? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you're pushing for us to be healthier, make the prices of the food less and make the prices of the unhealthy food more. That way, it just kind of balances out more, and then America won't be as obese.
Taco Bell's also so good.
I think it's like a child being a rebel to their parents. If the parent is like, hey, eat your vegetables, the child's going to be like, I want to eat no spinach. So, of course, they're going to be like, hey, guess what? We like you guys being obese. You know what? We like burgers, too. So, you know what? We're just going to break up the spinach, and then we're going to give you a hamburger. You like the hamburger. Shut up and eat the hamburger.
I'm coming at this from a weird position because I don't eat vegetables at all.
Also, you were in the middle of an argument just now.
Oh yeah, I was trying to split it up here. I don't eat vegetables at all, so I don't know like the first thing about eating healthy.
What are vegetables anyway?
I don't know. I just eat hamburgers and pizza and whatever I want to, and it's cool. But if they want people, like you said, if they want people to be more healthy, then common conception would be you make it cheaper. But the thing is, the companies have a stranglehold on what their product goes for.
Keep going.
So they have to. They set it at a certain price because they know that you're going to buy the top of the line stuff if you're going to eat healthy. If you're already going out of your way to eat healthy, you're going to get the good lettuce and the good tomatoes and stuff. You're not going to buy the cheap lettuce, and then I'll get some cheap tomatoes, and so they can set the price at whatever they want. If you start buying the cheap stuff, then their price you're going to see their prices go down. So it's all about consumerism and what you're willing to buy and what you're willing to stand for your nutritional price range.
Well, here's another thing. I mean, another reason that that our nation is considered obese is look at it. Nikki just said she spent $40 on a few items at the grocery store, and I mean, think about it. If you're a single mom with 2 kids or 3 kids or however many, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go spend out $40
going to McDonald's.
Exactly. You're gonna go to McDonald's. You're gonna go to Taco Bell, and you're gonna get more for less in order to feed your kids at any cost.
Yeah, it's getting rarer and rarer to see somebody cook at home.
Mhm.
You know, you can just go out and buy stuff. You know, that's just as easy.
Speaking of which, I need to go buy some steak.
Get out there and get some good steak. Get some nutritional stuff while you're at it too.
I don't understand what that means, but okay.
But I don't know, this kind of goes back to what Alan was saying just a few seconds ago about buying like the good lettuce and the good tomatoes, or buying like the cheap lettuce and the cheap tomatoes. Like, that's the thing, there's no cheap vegetables or fruits. It's all pretty expensive. Like, I don't know, like it shouldn't be expensive. I don't know.
It's not expensive if you just run out of the store with it.
If there's a company that would go out there and start producing cheap stuff, cheap vegetables, then you're going to see the top line prices go down. I promise you.
It's
like,
But
yeah.
will that happen?
exactly.
anytime soon?
Yeah, probably not.
Because
Probably not,
they know that it's a balance between what it costs to manufacture it and put it out there, and you know the big businesses know that. And the big businesses know what is the optimal price range to maximize their profits.
It's also about if it's in demand or not.
Right.
If all of these vegetables from these high-end companies were in demand, I mean, you would have these prices lower because so many more people would be going out and buying lettuce, buying
But I think
carrots.
it's all about money because
And-
at the end of the day, they want
Oh,
the money,
oh,
just
of
like
course.
any other person.
Yeah.
If I know that my apple is going to beat if I know my apple is going to beat your hamburger, of course I want to pull up that apple to cost more money so that people will try to buy that apple. But in reality, they're going to go toward the hamburger. I mean, it's sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think would be reasonable for the prices is because of the people that grow the produce, like the farmers, and then it also depends on the environment and the weather that year, because the weather has so much to do with the food that you eat.
Yeah.
And also the gas prices it
And-
takes to ship it.
Until we can start mass producing genetically created lettuce and things.
I don't think I would trust that.
Yeah.
You get on that, and we'll just go ahead and start talking about this next subject. I mean, we all know like sex has just kind of made its way all down the line, and we've got 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds now that are becoming sexually active while we weren't even that bad when we were their age. I know that. And I mean, someone told me recently that they're making a morning after pill for 12-year-olds. And
what they're trying to do is
they need to go to church.
what they're trying to do is they're trying to put morning after pills out on the shelves instead of behind the counters, so that 12-year-olds can have access to it. So that everybody can have access to it. And
That's stupid.
people bring up things like how are you going to get to the store? How, but they're going to find a way to get it. Either way, the problem
Just
here
like
is
they found a way to get it.
12-year-olds having sex.
That it's all types of wrong, honestly.
They need
But I think
Jesus.
it's that too. But it's who they surround themselves by. If you're on TV and you see girls, shaking their butt, the
Twerk.
kid's gonna be like, "Oh, look at that! I want to twerk too. Hey, boy, I want to get on you." They're gonna do everything they can to be just like the person that's on TV.
Yeah,
That's their role model. That's who they want.
The TV show that I'm finger wagging at is Teen Mom.
Oh.
Because you did this, Teen Mom. You did this.
You did this to
You
America.
started this. So now everybody wants to be pregnant and be on a TV show. And
Let's be fair. They do make good money for doing those shows.
No,
But-
apparently not. With
but-
recent news.
Like, if you think about it too, you have those 12 and 13-year-olds saying, "Hey, I want to be just like Teen Mom." I mean, for instance, one of my old friends, she got pregnant when we were in the 10th grade, and what she said she wanted to do was, she was like, "Oh, I want to be on Teen Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to just go show my whole freaking family on TV." No, life doesn't work like that. Once you get on TV, like I said before, there are going to be people who finger wag their tail at you, and then there are going to be people who praise you. Either way it goes, it's not
You get
good.
praise for going on Teen Mom
You'd
and
be
exploiting
surprised.
your family.
You'd be surprised how many watch that TV show. That's praise right there. Just watching the TV show. So stop it. Stop it. Stop watching it.
Yeah, I
But,
think they need to go praise someone else.
Yeah, you like, I mean, 12-year-olds, 13, 14, 15, that's your innocence. You shouldn't have to raise a child at 12 years old. You have that just ruins the rest of your life.
I think that's why they want to make the Plan B pill accessible to like 12-year-olds and like children of reproductive age. Like, honestly, I totally agree with you guys that it's weird and just wrong for children to be doing that in the first place. But I mean,
yeah,
I see
completely and utterly pointless.
I just think it's ridiculous that we would have to make it accessible to 12-year-olds.
Yeah, like half. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like the reason why it would have to is just ridiculous.
Yes.
But it being out there is probably better than it not being. I don't know. It's a weird topic because.
And then you have a kid when you're 12. That's fantastic. Neither of y'all can get into R-rated movies.
Yeah.
There are some that I can't necessarily say that a 12-year-old there's no way of hitting the point. Honestly, I'm just gonna go out and say it. If a kid is, let's just say, getting raped, I mean, wouldn't it be possible for them to get that?
Right.
Because that's out of their control. Whereas if they're like, hey, I want to be just like, I love Nicki Minaj to death. Oh my gosh, I do. But let's say they want to be like Nicki Minaj and say, I want to have a big butt. So, boy, look at me too. I'm not going to get up and twerk. I'm just saying.
I thought she was about to say get butt implants, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, if you keep it behind the counter, then you can get a special request from the doctor to get it. But if you put it out on the shelf, it's free to get got. So
I think the thing is though is that for the children that how Shai said that would be raped, like in order for them to get it, they would have to tell their parents or they'd have to tell an older brother or sister about it. And I don't think that they're willing to go up and talk about it.
But I don't honestly think that they have to go to their parents. Like, I can go to one of my friends and say, hey, can you drive me to Walgreens or Walmart, drive up there, get it, get back, I'm done. Or if they're like 13 years old and they know that their best friend has like older brother who knows how to drive, they can just say, hey, can you take me to Walgreens? For what? Oh, I'm 13 now. I need to go get a pad or something. And then he'll be like, oh, I don't want to go in there. And then they take you in there. There's so many maneuvers in order to get there that it's sad and it's pathetic.
Well, I mean, you should have a great relationship with your parents. But I mean, I do personally. I have a great relationship with my mother, and I could tell her anything, and I know that. So if you have that relationship, then you could be comfortable telling them,
I mean, yeah.
I was in a bad situation and something happened.
Yeah, but that's good. Like, I personally have a good relationship with my mom, too.
Yeah.
But there are some people out there who don't have a good relationship with their parents.
And also, sorry to interrupt, but if you have a good relationship with your family and you're strong with them, imagine like how you're gonna feel when you have to tell them this. How disappointed they'll be.
Well,
I mean,
I don't think they're gonna be disappointed in you because it's not your fault. We're gonna get to that topic later. That just because you got raped doesn't mean it was your fault.
But what if it's not necessarily rape? Like, I know I did mention it before, but what if it's not necessarily rape? What if it's just them wanting to experience?
Yeah. Then they should be in trouble. Then they should be in trouble.
Well, I mean, like Alan said, I mean, if it's rape, I mean, it's not their fault. And Nikki was talking about the slut walk before we started this, and
yeah, just explain it to us so we can get a better idea on it.
Okay, so the slut walk, what it is it's basically a movement for people who have been raped, and they're saying that that what they're saying is that society is saying that it's their fault that they were raped. It's because of what they were wearing or how they were acting, or because they were too drunk in a party, and that's why somebody took advantage of them. So they're saying it's not the rapist's fault, but it's theirs, which is totally wrong, because why would somebody invade your privacy like that?
I think that's a load of
crap
stuff. Yeah, some mess. Because I could be walking down the street wearing the most ratchet thing, and then some guy or who knows could just grab me and boom. There is no way of stopping it, and it's no way or shape or form that that is their fault.
Aside from castrating the guy,
respect for women, baseline. That's what it comes down to. I was raised by a single mom, so I know I was raised with the utmost respect for women, so it doesn't matter what they do or what, happens. No means no. You can't cross that boundary. I mean,
no, does not
and if there's this thing, if she was drunk and I was drunk, so that makes it okay. That doesn't make it okay. You should have the conscience of mind to know when stuff shouldn't happen. I saw this video the other day of some teenagers, carrying a girl around, and she was just passed out drunk, and they were just carrying her around, and this kid was laughing at her, and he was like, oh, they raped her so good, and all this it just disgusted me to my core. I mean, I wanted to go and wring this kid's neck, whoever he is, but that's what you get at parties and stuff. You get teens who are going to drink alcohol, and they're going to be rampant.
It's not even going to be responsible. They're just going to go to the point where basically they're alcoholics, to where they drink so they don't have to remember the night.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll get back to this very interesting topic right after this.
Did you know that 17 million people will acquire a dog or cat within the next year? But there are still 2.7 million pets losing their lives in shelters. However, the percentage of pets in homes adopted from animal shelters and rescue groups has risen from 27% to 29% in the last 2 years. And encouraging statistics show that euthanasia of shelter pets is down 10% since 2009. By adopting, you can make a difference in the life of a shelter pet. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Welcome back to Cardinal Real Talk. When we first left, we were talking about the slut walk. It just sounds so bad, Nikki. Just please elaborate.
Okay, well, whenever we left off, we talked about the slut walk, which is a movement talking about rape and whatnot, and then also having respect for women. So on this campus, I know that this is a big problem, and a lot of the girls get really annoyed with this, is the guys constantly being like, hey girl, say girl, what's up? Oh, you looking mighty fine today. Ooh, those jeans are mighty fitted. I had a guy come up and say that to me. Awful. It was so embarrassing. And I don't understand why these guys don't have respect for the girls here on campus. Like, we don't dress slutty. We don't do that. We dress like this. We're dressed like that. Like, we're covered up for the most part. Yes, we try to be anyways. And
although I have seen some girls dress up kind of.
Well, there's always the exception. But I mean, like, for the most part, the girls are covered up, and I don't understand why the guys constantly do that. It really is. It boils down to respect, and apparently here it's a lack of respect, and I don't appreciate that. And I know Shy doesn't appreciate that. I don't think any girl appreciates it. A girl would much rather be called beautiful, or be like, "Hi, you look really beautiful today," or "You look really nice." Something like that. Not like, "Oh, those jeans are mighty fit."
See, I still don't say that though, because there's a fine line there. So
that's one, like, you're not just gonna go walk up to a random
you're pretty
girl.
beautiful.
You look beautiful.
Then it gets to
then
stalkerish.
It gets kind of creepy.
There's a fine line between stalkerish and annoying, and those
they
kind of waver a little bit. So you just don't. I just don't.
We'll get to the stalking later.
But there's a difference in being nice and being rude and being creepy. There's nice, like, oh, you know what? You look really pretty today. There's rude. Oh, side girl, come over here, talk to a brother. Come over here, talk to a brother. Then there's creepy. Hey there, beautiful. No.
But if the fine line is nice, if nice is what we're shooting for, what happens to the nice guy? He gets forgot about.
Yeah,
but not entirely, because if you are nice to a girl, then eventually the right girl will come around and you'll get a nice girl.
And then you remember girls talk.
Yeah.
So they can go to their friends and they can be like, oh, he was really nice. He called me pretty. Or you never know what that girl could feel like crap. Because I know for sure, like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, the world is dead. Mm-hmm. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't even breathe my air. And then like a guy can come up and be like, you look really pretty today. And I know I just rolled out of bed. Do you know how much of a compliment that is? I mean, you know how bright that's like a sunshine on a rainy day for you to say that some girl's pretty. Then that's going to go to their friends. You never know like she said before, you never know who the right girl you're going to meet. You know?
No, I mean, like, if a girl says, you know, oh, I look ratchet today, I'm like, no, you don't. But, you know, that's as far as I go because, like I said, that line is kind of,
Yeah, but I mean, all right, Ellen, you brought it up, stalking. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all had someone stalk us at some point in our life.
because it's a male and female problem.
It is. It's a two-way street, unfortunately.
But I mean, I
It
think
should
it's
be a no-way
it's
street.
more threatening, like towards a female, because like I've heard stories
Because
on
it
this
goes
campus
back
that
to
were
the-
like just whoa, you know, like I heard this one story the other day that a guy followed a girl to the gas station just to watch her pump gas. So it's like whoa,
That's
It's
awesome.
not
No.
that interesting.
no,
Gas
just
pumping
stay
is-
home, don't follow anybody somewhere. You know, if you have to put in the effort to follow somebody somewhere, that's creepy.
And they told
That's
you
wrong.
not, and they didn't tell you to follow them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's really hard with stalking, honestly, because then you have to find out how to treat them, because then you don't know what kind of stalker you have. You could have that real nice guy stalker who just wants to like talk to you, and then you got like that real creeper stalker who's like, I just want to watch you, and then you just got that other
The rapist.
the rapist who just like wants you, and then you got like the person that just wants a piece of your hair. Like it's just either way it goes. Like it's just it's
definitely
creepy
just a
on
bit
all
too far.
points, but I mean, how do you approach it? Do you just go up to someone and say, "Don't talk to me"? Look at me.
I'm sorry. If you've got someone who wants a piece of your hair, I'm pretty sure you file a restraining
You should
order.
nip that in the bud, probably. But
Yeah,
but
I'm pretty sure a restraining order is the way to go.
yeah, but like I mean, if you should not like, you shouldn't encourage it. You know, like I'm sure nobody does, but I mean that's the one thing that you don't want to do. It's like you don't want to. Like say if that normal stalker guy, just that that first line of stalker guy, if you encourage it, maybe he goes to the second line, and then maybe he goes to the third line, and then maybe you end up at the fourth
But
line,
there
and then
is-
you're really
But there really is no way of encouraging it. Like you
Yeah,
can
you
just
don't
be a nice
encourage
person.
Yeah.
You can just say hi,
Yeah.
and then
Happens to me all the time.
spark their
Yep.
interest. Like, ooh, she's pretty.
yeah. But I mean, would you rather be nice and encourage it, or just be
Or you can be rude. I mean,
yeah,
you
be
can,
rude, and then
I
that
mean,
would just
You can
disarm it
walk away,
altogether.
but then
It's better to be kind of honest, like just be like, "Hey, I see you as a friend," but that's it.
Honesty is the best answer for that. I agree with you.
I don't think
Just-
you really know how people's minds work.
And some people just don't get the hint.
Yeah, you really don't know how some people's minds work. Sometimes people can take your ignoring as even more of a little match. Like, oh, she's a challenge, I can get her. Or you're saying, oh, you know what, I just want to be friends. That's even more of a challenge. You know what, I can still get it. I mean, like you
But-
gotta figure out how some people's minds work when you can.
And then you get a restraining order.
Yeah, and then
Problem solved.
then somebody snaps and something, and then they do something like our next topic.
Yeah, like I mean, gun control and the Boston bombing. I mean, these are all the gun control has always been a pretty well debated topic ever since Obama's been in office, and everyone's scared that he'll take away their guns. And I mean, it's not really so much the gun control, rather, it's more people control, idiot control, rather. I apologize if that was a little bit offensive. But I mean, back home, Lone Star College, Cyprus, a guy just snapped and went ahead and started stabbing people on that campus, and he didn't use a gun or anything. He just used a sharp object and started stabbing people. It was actually a box cutter.
Like I said before, I think it's the way people work. The Sandy Hook, shooting, the Colorado shooting, the Boston bombing. It's the people's head. You can't honestly say that if a person walks down the street that has a gun, you don't know what they're going to do. They can just keep walking, or they can just boom, 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 start shooting. You never know what that person's going to do.
Target practice.
I've always thought about it like this: more of the problem shouldn't fix the problem. So So if you put more guns in everybody's hands, that's just more risk. Why would you do that? You know, it just blows my mind. Like, first of all, you should be a trained professional, have a gun. You know, officers on campus, you know, things like that. And, you know, putting guns in schools, that's mind-blowing to me, because why would you want to put a potential risk right next to your child? It's like putting poisonous things where your children can reach it. You know, like a kid could, you know, mess around one day and accidentally grab a teacher's gun and shoot somebody. You know, the problem just came into your school without the problem having to be outside of your school. And everybody's worried about the Obama administration taking away their guns. Nobody wants your guns. Keep your guns. You know, you have to protect yourself.
It's the
high-powered
automatic weapon.
Yeah, and actually, when you look at the stats of all the deaths, I think there's 30,000 deaths in the United States. Only 230 something of those deaths were actually in defense of somebody's home. So of all the gun deaths, you know, only 230 something have been in defense of your home. So the whole other percentage of that has been violence against other people. So you want to put more potential violence out there for somebody to use. You know, that's just going to make the numbers go up.
Yeah.
You know, in home defense, you know, why would you need, you know,
why would you need
a 30 round magazine to defend your home?
Zombie apocalypse.
Well, I mean, that's the only. That is the.
In case of a zombie apocalypse, you just use a crossbow. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I mean, just watch Walking Dead.
Right.
And Nikki, I mean, I know you're a bit of an outdoors woman. Can't really say outdoorsman. That's apparently sexist. And then I know you like to hunt, if you hunt,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you hunt.
Well, I think like what you're trying to get around is that
Why would you need a high-powered rifle if you're gonna try and keep the deer meat or the?
my dad he has an AR-15 and like he just loves it. He just wants to have it just to have it. And like we go out and we go shooting. We don't go shoot people. We shoot like beer cans and targets and stuff like that. That's totally fine. It's just recreational use. And then if we go hunting, we don't take that. We usually take like a shotgun or a rifle, or we'll take out our bows. But I remember my dad one time saying that we should be able to have the high-powered weapons like the military does, just in case the military does become too powerful. The citizens should be able to revolt, and I totally understand like how that is. You know, like way back in the 1700s during the American Revolution.
What if Red Dawn is actually foretelling the truth about North Korea coming to invade us? We might need to protect ourselves if we get overrun. Now that was being completely sarcastic, but you get the point.
I also think that in order to have guns, you should probably go through like a mental test just to make sure you're stable and that you're not going to go crazy. So I don't know. I think that would probably help.
Oh, I do agree with you. I do. But you never know when, like you said, you never know when a person is going to snap. Someone could come back from someone could just do the simplest thing and just snap. I mean, you never know. Like I said before, I keep going to this subject, but you never know how a person's mind works. They could just snap at any moment, at any given time.
How many people died at the Boston bombing?
3.
And how many people died at Sandy Hook?
A lot.
And yet, a bomb that killed 5 people, or 3 people, you say, is worse than a gun that
It also injured more than 170.
Yeah, I'm saying they're both on the same level of catastrophe. It's just one has a more menacing look about it, and one you just grew up more comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, guns can be bad if they're put in the wrong hands. And I mean, like you said, you grew up around them, and you were raised that they weren't toys,
right?
And all that. And Nikki, again, basically the same thing as Alan. And Shai, I know when we talked about it earlier, you said you didn't really grow up around them, except for the fact your dad is a police officer.
So I mean,
Did anyone else got anything to add on this? I mean, I know I've got something that's unrelated to this topic.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to say, thank you to all of the TVC students that I've met.
So welcome.
I love you all. I'm not going to be here next year, so I just want to get this time out to say I love you. I'm proud to have met y'all, and I'm proud to have been classmates with y'all.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm really thankful for the opportunity that school has given me and for the people that I've met. I made a lot of lifelong bonds. It's the family at the Valley. I also want to thank Lise behind the camera over there.
Yo,
She's awesome.
turn up.
Shayla for tweeting.
Miss Jones for making all this happen.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
And me for just being me.
Being cool.
Also, Thursday, the Lady Cards will be taking on the Galveston Whitecaps at 5:30 from Corsicana in the Region 14 softball tournament. I'll be on the air broadcasting that game live for you. 5:30 first pitch on ihide.com/TVCC. Tune in, support your Lady Cards. If you can't drive out to Corsicana, I know people are about to start leaving for the end of the semester. I know I'm excited to get out, and I don't blame y'all for leaving. I'm pretty sure they're excited to leave, go on to their bigger and better things. And with that being said, thank y'all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.
Red Raiders, go Tech.